I made $769,447.47 at 23 years old in 2023. So here are 7 lessons that I learned over the last 12 months along the way. I wish that's something that I saw at the beginning of the year so that I would have been like another level and I wouldn't have gone through the trials and errors that I've been through, so that if you're watching this and you're looking to make 500K, 600K, 700K, even a million. I mean, I'm not there yet, so I can't tell you how to do this, but I'm pretty damn close. So I'll tell you exactly what I learned over the last 12 months, making that amount of money at a very, very young age, especially with no high school diploma, somebody that came from nothing, no connections. Like, I just knew nothing about business when I started, at 16 years old, my business. So I think these lessons are like really, really valuable if you're looking to get into entrepreneurship or you're already in it and want to fast track your way to success. So let's dive right into it. By the way, just for context, we help real estate agents get more listings with YouTube ads. Okay, so that's what we do. And now let's get into the first lesson. So at my stage, automation is more of a distraction than anything, and it won't replace an actual person doing the work. Okay, so let me give you the context. By the way, I'm reading this because I just journaled, so I'm just reading my journaling notes. For context, I used to have a system integrator. I was paying $4,000 per month, every single month, to automate things in the business and streamline them so that, things are smooth all the time. They're streamlined, they're efficient. But here's the thing, it did the exact opposite. Things got more and more complicated because of that. So did it really help to have a system integrator? To be honest, not at all. So I was just $4,000 per month poorer, and I was spending more time fixing bugs and telling the system integrator what to do, what to fix, what broke again. If I just had a VA do these things in the first place, I'd have saved $4,000 and just so much time and complexity. And the VA would have done it right manually every single time. So a lot of people in the industry right now are preaching AI, automation. I get that AI is great to automate things, but for certain things, they don't need to be streamlined. I was trying to streamline things that didn't need to be streamlined that much. By the way, except if you run an automation agency, I don't think you need to hire a full-time or even a part-time system integrator. So just pay somebody on Upwork or Fiverr to do one-off jobs and just pay them hourly to create the system that you need and to maintain them. Lesson number 2 that I learned from making $700,000 and above at 23 years old. By the way, this is in revenue, right? So I invest back a lot in the business and myself as well to grow. Lesson number 2 is to reach 100K per month, lead gen and sales are still the 2 biggest skills you should become better at. There's nothing else. And I think leadership will come next to reach $1 million per month after that. So for context, I have a tendency to overcomplicate stuff. I believe a lot of us do. Yeah, I used to focus on 1,000 different things. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. That person is doing this, that's a good idea, let me do this, right? I used to focus on different projects and not be able to prioritize what's the main deal that will get us to the next financial milestone. 100K per month, 200K per month. I still think it's generating leads, getting your calendar packed with qualified leads and closing them. Lead gen sales in any industry, even for our real estate agents, that's what I recommend. We're helping them get leads and closing these. For a real estate agent, for example, you can get up to $500K a year just by yourself. I've seen it multiple times, just by mastering lead generation, which is what we teach in our program, and closing cold leads, not your referrals, not word of mouth, and not your friends and family, right? So, and the same thing is if you're having a similar model as me in the agency space. What I do now is I just remind myself every single morning that these are the next steps. Lead gen, sales, that's it. Lesson number 3 is that music needs to be used purposefully, not as an escape from dealing with problems. Context, I used to listen to music all the time. What I do now, I only use music for setting the mood with my girlfriend, specific events where I need to be in a specific state. For example, hyping myself up before a sales call, or I want to be present before going out at a restaurant. So I'll listen to specific music that will hype me up in the car with my girlfriend just to be more present and be high energy to bring that version of myself for that specific occasion. But I have an intent when listening to music. I don't just listen to it randomly. I also even canceled my Spotify subscription. Listen, at the end of the day, I want to have an intent. I don't want to be spending my time, money, resources on things that I don't want to be focusing on. And instead, when I work out and when I'm like walking, when I'm in the shower, I'm just listening to courses or audiobooks. I buy a lot of courses and I buy a lot of audiobooks, and I'm able to go through an audiobook a week because of that. Lesson number 4 is that traveling for too long, too far away kills so much momentum, for me at least. So until I have a management team in the company, I can't afford to lose momentum taking so many days off without working. So for context, I used to travel for 7 to 12 days, without touching my computer that much. And I would come back with like so many fires to put off. Everything would have slowed down drastically. It is normal. And at some point you want to like take time off and enjoy life. But looking back, I don't think it's worth it that much, especially when you're at these early stage, which I still consider me to be in right now. So what I'll start doing is just travel locally for like, 3-day weekend getaways. Lesson number 5 is that journaling alone is great for brain dumping, and when you're like feeling emotionally charged and you need to like spit it out, and just like almost like when you're talking to a friend, it just helps like like you're feeling better, like take off like that weight off your shoulder. That said though, when it comes to improving, taking immediate action to fix the issues is what actually matters. So for context, okay, I used to journal about issues but always procrastinated on taking the actions to solve these problems, even though I made to-do lists. So I used to journal, then I used to make to-do lists to fix the issues, but like I procrastinated on making the actions in them. But instead what I do now is I focus on first of all what I can control in the event. Let's say something stressful happened, right? Usually that's why we journal, or we want to fix something, we want to reflect. I let go of like any stress or guilt or any negative emotion that I feel towards the situation, the person, or the thing I'm journaling about, so that I can focus my energy on what I can actually control. Then from that point on, I make a list in terms of like what I need to do, or as soon as I put an action item of like what needs to be fixed moving forward, I actually do it right away. Lesson number 6 is that taking fast decisions is a muscle that I need to get better at every single day. For context, one of the things that make billionaires is the way they make decisions and the speed at which they make decisions. And so I'm a perfectionist. And even though I made huge progress over the last few years when I started the business in terms of like making quick decisions, I still need to get better at it. So what I do now is I just gather as much information as possible by asking questions to like myself or just Googling the information. And then you're never gonna have like all the information that you need to make like a fully informed decision. That said, I always think about the potential effects / consequences that the decision would have on my life, others, the company, versus the pros and what like that decision will actually bring. I think about all this right then and there, and then make a snap decision. And I don't feel bad for making a bad decision. Instead, I feel good for making a quick one. The 7th lesson that I learned is that if you work a lot, if you're a workaholic, you're working all the time like myself, then you need to plan vacations in advance. Otherwise, you won't take them and you'll probably end up burning out and needing even more vacation for not having taken a break. So let me explain. Momentum is a double-edged sword. It's what you need to build massive success, but from time to time, you need to stop. Look at the bigger picture to make sure you're going in the right direction, right? If you're always like in the weeds are like super high above you, just like, going through the weeds. Well, like sometimes you need to like step back, stop, go above the weeds, look at like, where are you heading? Are you in the right direction? Or like, because you're having a lot of momentum, but like you may be like way off. Like you might be going there and your goal is like there, like the treasure is there. So you need to make sure you're going in the right direction in the first place. And for me, I know if I don't plan my vacations, like I'll just be like, oh, whatever, man. I don't need to take time off. Like I can just keep working. Let me like not lose the momentum. So I don't want to lose the momentum. So like don't go on vacation. And then I put it off and then it end up like being worse. And then I also need that time to reflect and like look back and also project myself in the future and trying to see how we can improve things, right? Instead of like always pushing on the same kind of level, if that makes sense. So what I do now is that I'll plan when I won't work at the start of the year and commit by paying for Airbnbs or making reservations in advance. That way I'm forcing myself to actually, go through with these things. That's pretty much it, guys. If you like these kind of videos, please let me know by liking it. Share the video, send this to somebody that is young, ambitious, wants to make that amount of money. And hopefully it helps you and it helps them.